Hey there, John here. I figured it was high time that I took another look at a lessons learned, looking at an older video that I produced for GenXGrownUp, and this one is interesting because there's a direct parallel. So this is all the way back in September 9th, 2017. That's how long ago I did this. And in fact, I remember I recorded this video when I was on the road in a hotel because I needed to. We hadn't had a video out in a while, and I'm like, I've been on the road for 2 weeks, so I did this thing in a hotel. And you can see in, what is it, 2017, that's in 8 years now, it's gotten 500 views. 500 views. That's all. That's all. Where's my keyboard here? Yeah. So, yeah, by comparison, let's take a look. I did Superman as a Friday Plays a year ago, 20,000 views. Look, we earned 100 subscribers, $82 off of it on the last year. This one we've earned $3 in 8 years. So if you wonder about people going to the back catalog, they don't. And it's just because, look, I had a Superman video for years and nobody watched it. It wasn't until I published a new one that it made a difference. So everything old is new again, I guess. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the... I'm not crazy about this Friday Plays thumbnail, actually. But here's the thumbnail for this one. So this was... This is very early. I thought branding was everything, and so I have the name of our channel, GenXGrownUp. I have the name of the series. This would be like having a big GenXGrownUp Friday Plays, the top of every Friday Plays, and then try to show you what the game is. And this only says Superman for the 2600, like it's super vanilla. It doesn't like put out any intrigue, you know, like based on adventure or, why can't I fly? And, Lois saves the day. Something grabby outside of just literally, this is a video about Superman, and it only gets people in the door that want to see a video about Superman. So let's see. Let's rewind this thing all the way. Yeah, I was just getting ready for it. So, look how green it is. Anyway, so I started the video with what I thought was a grabber, which is, play a little bit of the footage. With a little Alexander Courage theme in there. I'm sure that any longer, that would have been a copyright strike. And then opens. Yeah, we had separate opens for each thing using Beefy's theme in the background there, which is fun, but in hindsight, I've issued all opens and intros just to say, hey, here's what we're going to talk about, a little ad, we move on, and, Still, I mean, it's 15 seconds in and we're on camera, it's not bad, but now I try to get on camera second one and explain what I'm doing right away, so.
Hey, hello again, welcome.
Oh, look at this nice up my nose shot, like my tripod maybe wasn't tall enough, so I couldn't, anyway.
Back to GenXGrownUp.
Horrible camera angle.
John,
No hat.
I'm a GenXGrownUp.
It's before I was regularly wearing hats.
Today we have another GenXGrownUp replay.
Oh, and you can tell I have no lights with me because look at all the different reds and greens that are going in my face, probably coming from the TV, no doubt.
Yeah. At a video game that we played.
At least I had the presence of thought to throw a Space Invaders blanket back there.
It was certainly a favorite for me. What we're going to look at today is Superman for the Atari 2600. Good. Superman was.
So this is not bad. He's talking about why he's doing this is a favorite for him. He wants to talk about it. Okay, show the cover.
Adventure game.
Not bad.
Released by Atari in 1979.
And what do I do with my head? Released by Atari, and then we're going to talk about this. Like, what's my on-camera presence?
The Atari 2600. It was designed by John Dunn, and it has the distinguishing
look up my
feature
nose.
of being one of the first single-player games ever released for the Atari console. Superman is a multi-screen adventure, meaning you can move around from screen to screen, as opposed to early video games where you were kind of...
So, like, look at me. Like, how much do I look 8 years older? Maybe. I don't know.
Locked onto a single screen, like a Pac-Man screen or a Donkey Kong screen. You would navigate the map of Metropolis and fly around to different screens in order to achieve your objectives as Superman.
Showing the map is cool.
Superman was based on some of the early...
Probably should have gotten into the game first, showed the game, and then showed stuff like in Friday Plays, how I pop up those things in context, but... I mean, this is before Friday Plays was, it was 5 years before the concept, at least 6 years.
Prototype code for Warren Robinette's Adventure, one of the all-time classics for
Again,
console,
that could be during the gameplay, I suppose.
But although they were both built on the same prototype,
I didn't think of structure that way before.
Superman ended up being released before Adventure. I had Superman for my Atari, and I played it a ton. But admittedly, it's not the most approachable game. This was the late 70s, early 80s. So instruction manuals
still set up
to understand how to...
Now in Friday Plays, I try to do like, here's who I am, here's what we're talking about, here's a little preface, let's go. For like 3 sentences or 3 paragraphs of like 4 or 5 sentences each. And no, we're a minute and a half in now, and we haven't seen I mean, it's not we'd have to be on gameplay now, but we're still kind of it's still set up. You know, we haven't seen at least if you're gonna talk about something else, show more footage. I mean, it could be.
To play a game that was more
It could be I just didn't have much footage with me. I hadn't had many videos yet.
complex like Superman. It wasn't instantly obvious, and there wasn't enough memory on the cartridge to put instructions right in the game or tutorials. So if someone just picks up this game and takes a look at it, it's not entirely obvious what's going on.
I'm thinking of this as like a documentary, really. I'm not thinking of it as a playthrough. And really, I think people are there for the playthrough, and documentary as the extra. It's kind of how I think of Friday Plays now.
It can be downright confusing. Superman had 26 different screens that you could navigate.
At least I had a good haircut.
And the map wasn't entirely linear. There was a subway system you navigated, as well as a jail, the Daily Planet, all sorts of different things
and
to see.
gameplay.
And they weren't immediately obvious to an outside viewer.
And
also,
gameplay.
some of the sound effects can be a little jarring and annoying. Superman's X-ray vision
Okay, finish this
sound is
sentence and let's go.
particularly noisy and very Atari-ish.
Oh, a good
and
sample?
very flippy and beepy. But none of those things were
Okay.
negatives to me.
Almost 2.5
I loved
minutes
this
in.
game. So
And
come
let's-
along
here we
with
go.
me
Here we
now.
go to the
We're
game.
gonna take a look at
All
it
right.
right now on this GXG.
I'd like to get there about 30 seconds sooner. Oh,
Okay,
it's a cool
this is
transition.
Superman for
That's a
the
good
Atari
idea. Way to go,
2600.
young
I'm playing it
John.
right now on the Stella Atari emulator.
Have a
I
look
have
in my
the ROM
ear.
loaded,
It's on the side
and
here.
You can see it's in
It's
the
all right.
tracked mode.
The frame is okay.
I'm giving you a
It's not
preview
bad.
of all the different scenes and screens that you can go to. Superman just kind
The
of
background music's a little hot.
I'm going to try to guide you through this
Hopefully, I had the presence of thought to fade it out when the gameplay sound. I think I was already thinking about that. Let's
unusual
see.
game and give you an idea of what's happening. I'm just going to hit start, and here I am as Superman. I'm hovering there above this phone booth. As soon as I touch the button or joystick, I drop right into the phone booth, and hey, I'm Clark Kent. Now, Clark Kent is on his way. He is a mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan
I did kill the music.
newspaper,
Good
as
job,
you might
John.
already know. Anyway, he's on the way to work. And on the way to work, of course, he has to cross this footbridge. Oh my God, it's blown up! There goes Lex Luthor. There goes some of his henchmen.
I think this part is
flickering
pretty
as they
good and
roll for
entertaining. I'm
Atari
telling a
sprites.
narrative. I'm kind of being a little
The
jokey.
henchmen, the
I
other
think
key
that's a
things you'll
good
see, they're
catch.
appearing,
We just didn't have any subscribers that knew to click on it.
Oh, there's a helicopter carrying Lois Lane. What is a man to do? Well, I better save the day. I can't cross the bridge
A little dry, but at least I had put in little jokes.
because
That's
it's
good.
blown up. So I had to head straight back to the telephone booth and turn into Superman.
Other than pacing,
Boom, there I am.
it's a decent video.
Okay. So the top of the screen, what you can see is there are 6 little squares.
Excellent. call outs.
The first 5.
Way to
are
go,
henchmen,
young
and
John.
The larger one is
And an animated
Lex
one.
Luthor.
Way to not
so
be
I have
lazy.
several objectives in
Yeah.
Superman. You saw the bridge blow up. We need to find the 3 pieces of the bridge and put them back in place, and they'll reassemble.
Yep.
We've got to find all 6 of the bad
Okay,
guys.
blah,
finish
blah,
them.
blah. Let's skip ahead a little bit. He's
And if I
explaining.
look around, that's where the X-ray vision comes into play. There's a screen above me, below me, to the left of me.
Okay, he's showing that off.
And this is like music to my ears, but for some people, this noise is annoying. That's the sound of.
All right, let's get into gameplay.
What's around me?
So he's looking around. Look, here he goes. Catching guys.
So he's on his little helicopter pack. I need to go find the jail. Now, eventually, you learn your way around.
Yep.
It's, it's a bit to the east of this or to the west.
So I'm just jumping ahead a little bit here. He
There's
drops
the
a guy in jail.
All I have to do is fly him into the bars. Boom.
I think I'm doing a good job of describing the game. Again, I just feel like the pacing is a little light, but I guess I have to compare it to Friday Plays that did so well and see, what is it I did differently aside of just having more people know I exist.
Lex is away, and you saw his dot disappear. So, to continue. There's Lois, and
So let's get a piece of bridge.
Let's grab
Yeah,
the
pick
bridge.
that up.
And
Let's jump
the
ahead
novelist has
and
a
drop that off over
kryptonite
here.
we're trying to avoid and get to different locations. So I know out this direction gets me kind of close to the. Notice at the beginning.
Oh, there it is.
There's
We'll
our
drop this.
phone booth.
Bong, drop
There's the
that.
first piece.
Cool.
All right,
Yep.
You notice at the beginning there was a helicopter carrying Lois Lane around. That helicopter will come and
Yeah, all
grab
good. So let's
my
skip
left.
ahead a little bit. I mean, we know how
Bad
Superman
guy.
works. This
All
is
right,
just
piece
more
below
talking
him,
over the
so I
game.
Go down and grab it. It doesn't matter. Just touching it will cause you to stop being able to fly. Therefore, you can't accomplish.
So I think I'm doing a pretty good job of describing the rules, but maybe it's hard to do. I didn't describe the rules and then play the game. I'm gradually describing the rules as I go. And I didn't look at this in terms of like a tutorial and then a playthrough. It was more of just like this playthrough documentary thing in my head, I think, that makes it kind of, when it's compartmentalized, it's easy to watch this little piece and this little piece rather than a 15-minute longer piece.
Your goals. What you can do, though, is
just skip ahead a little bit.
Easier difficulties. If you find
Yeah. Moving ahead. Daily
fly
Planet.
over it, boom,
Completed the bridge.
there's
Nice.
The bridge. Now, Superman can walk on air, apparently. He doesn't need to use the bridge.
Yeah.
But we still have...
Little observations. I
there's
think
one
those are
hill
cute.
right
That's
here.
fine. Guy in jail. Let's skip ahead. We got 2 guys left.
These
All
guys
right,
are
so there's
just
kryptonite problem.
the fact
Let's
that
go
I
find
am
Lois.
a cripple.
There she
Hey,
is.
there's Lois.
Ding.
All right, I can fly again. I don't want a
All right.
helicopter here in Lois Lane. The external watcher, all you see is screens flickering. What's
Yeah.
going on, right? If you're controlling it, it was a genius way to be able to navigate the map without having to just fly, kryptonite again?
All right, let's go put the last guy in jail. We spent a lot of time looking for Lois. There's the last guy. There we go. Got him. Head him straight to jail. Ah.
Find Lois again. I can only try to hurt you when you're so.
All right. Yeah. Go get Lois.
There she is. She's down.
Oh, here we are talking about number rub.
To grab sword or pieces. There she is. She's down.
All right. There we go. Put this last guy in jail. Oh, he's already in.
What to do now is go back to the phone booth.
Blah, blah, blah. Go to the phone booth. Okay, here you
go.
And here's the wrap up of the game. So let's see how it wrapped up.
And boom.
All right, we're in.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see Superman. I missed him again.
Yeah, too bad nobody watched this.
Lois, how's it going? And
here we go.
That's it.
All right, so how do I wrap it up? So at this point, there's 1:20 left of this video. What do I, at this point, if somebody just is here to see Superman and didn't know who the heck I was, they're done with the video and they're gone. What do I do here that might make you want to stay beyond this point the next time you watch my video?
That run took me 9 minutes. I guess the high score is kind of about how fast can you do Superman. For me, I didn't care how fast I did it. I would hit
little
reset
personal
and I would play it
anecdote.
again,
Okay.
And again and again.
That was the beginning of me trying to build a rapport with the audience and talk about my own experiences. So, I mean, it's the chicken or egg thing. You got to care who I am at all first to hear my story.
Just
I think
a
maybe
great
so.
adventure game, and this was at a time when
But I think it was a good setup.
you didn't really have adventure
This is not bad.
games. You had shooting games where you had to shoot aliens, or you had jumping games, or kind
Yeah,
of
just a
games
little
like
much.
this, anywhere you want. So much freedom.
So let's round this up.
So hey, thanks a lot for joining me for this GenXGrownUp replays look at Superman for the
This is the big ramble of all the call to action. Here we
Atari
go.
2600. Please remember to click subscribe,
subscribe.
below and enable notifications.
Notifications.
You'll be sure to know the next time
What
we
else?
put
Keep
out
going.
content on GenXGrownUp. And also, we want to know what you think.
Comments?
Comments down below to tell me if you're fond
People are
memories of
gone by
Superman,
now.
If you played before.
Look, if they know how to work YouTube. You don't got to tell them to do all this. Maybe a pop up to remind you once in a while, like we do now. But
Also, click the like button.
also click the like button.
Share this video.
Share it out.
wherever
Click
it is
like,
online
share,
that you
subscribe,
hang
bell,
out.
all those.
See you next time.
And there's the ending. A couple end screens. There we go. All right. That's it. Let's come back over to this. Yeah. So in 8 years, that effort in a hotel room in the middle of God knows where in America yielded me 500 views and $3. What's changed? Yeah, this is what we can accomplish now. So if you want to look back and see what's available, yeah. All right. Hey, I like doing these. I think they're informational for me as much as they are for anyone else. And the likelihood is you never saw that video in the first place. So, yeah. Thanks for checking this out. See you on the next vlog.